Hi, it's me again. I know I said until Australia and all that jazz and everything, but editing's a lot of work and I'm still getting used to it, so I wanted to make a small, tiny video that doesn't require a lot of editing before I leave to get a little practice in it. The editing software I use is DaVinci Resolve for free, and I'm not too, well versed in it, and so I wanted to get some practice. Now, because I missed my last Padlet, I'm actually going to be doing two today, just talking about the last 2 days of my internship. Now, for Wednesday, that would be the okay, today's the 18th. So Wednesday, today's Friday. Wednesday would have been the 16th. So on the 16th, Wednesday, I went to my internship, and in the morning I was working with the animal systems manager at the farm, Abby DeVry. And what we did that day was we were setting up for making some apple cider. They had just recently gotten off of Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace this huge apple presser, right? So we wanted to clean some stuff up and do a huge apple pressing thing. And it went really well. My job was to pressure wash or like sort of hose off all of the equipment we were using. So that was a bunch of barrels that we were eventually going to put the juiced bits of the apples in, as well as the apple presser itself. And this one, so wood chippers, right? Everyone's seen a wood chipper probably. We had one of those for apples, except it was just smaller, and it was actually meant for apples. And so that's what I did. And
Yeah, the day was great. I even started to learn how to juggle from Brad, Grace, and Justin. For some reason, it's a requirement that each farmer at Ocean Hour Farm knows how to juggle. So each of the three of them, all juggling apples, began to teach me some of the basics. I'm still not very good. I have moved on from apples because, unfortunately, after a lot of practice, they did become mushy. But I'm now on tennis balls, and if you guys are all still here by the end of the video, there will be a demonstration. That afternoon was some of the most fun I've had at OHF. Everyone sticking around to help out to create something really made me feel part of the Ocean Hour Farm family. It was such a fun time laughing with everyone when we would miss an apple or being able to see the fruit of our hard work in the apple cider. I'm so glad that they allowed me to stay and participate in such an amazing event. On Friday, I came in same time as I always do. I was supposed to have a meeting with Sarah, the farm manager. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get to that due to a class being hosted by Ocean Hour Farm on swales, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I wasn't too upset about it because I got to sit down on the class, and it was really fun. I got to learn all about swales, meet tons of different farmers from all over Rhode Island. We did a couple really fun activities, too. For part of the class, we went over to the long barn and got taught how to use something called A-frames. When making a swale, which I'll talk about in a minute, you have to find a level contour line along the landscape. And one of the ways to find this is using an A-frame. This can be made out of really only 3 sticks, some string, and a rock. And how you find the level is you plant it down wherever needed, and you wait for the string to stay in place. You make a notch. Then you switch the legs with each other in the same places and make another notch. And right in the middle, that'll be your level. You can just swing the outside leg around to the next bit, find the level by just moving one of the legs around a little bit until the string will be right in the middle of those two notches. And then continue doing that all along the line and placing flags where you put each leg. We also learned how to use this laser level, which was mounted on this sort of tripod stand. It had a 360-degree laser. And how it worked is that someone would be carrying this big ruler sort of stick, meter stick, that had a bunch of measurements on it. And they would set up what height they needed it to be at for it to line up with the laser. And they just go out anywhere in the field and move it around until it's level with the laser. And when it's level, it'll just start beeping like crazy, and that's how you know it's right there. And then you can put a flag down and then continue on. Quick disclaimer, if anything doesn't make sense or if it just sort of seems jumbled or not linear, that's because a lot of these clips were filmed at different times or had certain technical difficulties like a mic not working or being not charged. So I had to ADR over a lot of parts and redo a lot of parts, but yeah, anyway. Oxford Dictionary defines a swale as a low or hollow place, especially a marshy depression between ridges. Now, according to Wikipedia, a swale is a shady spot or a sunken or marshy place. In U.S. usage in particular, it is a shallow channel with gently sloping sides. Such a swale may be either natural or human-made. Artificial swales are often infiltration basins designed to manage water runoff, filter pollutants, and increase rainwater infiltration. To put it simply, swales contain a couple main parts. One, the ditch, which catches any water coming down the hill. Two, a berm, which is a mound that runs along the lower side of the ditch to block any water from just going over it and carrying topsoil with it. And three, a spillway, because these swales function sort of like a long bathtub. Wherever the water comes in, it will fill up the bottom first and then rise. And all of this water needs somewhere to go. It can't just sit in there. So there is then on top of the berm a inch or so flat area for it to run off down into either another swale or into a pond or whatever basin is being used to collect that water.
So as I said before, I started trying to juggle with apples. I now most recently started moving on to tennis balls. Here goes. Oh.